Stories from Soul! The Gun Dog! Okay, good evening everybody! Good evening everybody. Sorry, that was a bit of a high energy start, wasn't it? I'm just quite excited. It's, this is something that I've been looking forward to for about 4 years. Ow. Hello, Peanut. Can I help you? You want to get in on this, do you? You do? Okay, well, yes, allow me to finish doing the whole, starting things off thing. Yes? Thank you. No, she's eating me instead, that's fine. Yes, good evening. I am back with something new. And I am joined by my illustrious Bun Hedge. And of course, the ever bouncy PP, who has a bug up her bum tonight. About something. Don't know what. But stories from Saul. So this is something I've been looking forward to for quite a long time. Like I said, 4 years. This game came out yesterday. PP, please. Wait. I think you might need to close the window. She is being... Sorry. Yes. So this is a game that has been made by a very dear friend of mine. We've known each other since we were about 4. His name is John Durham. He's been working for quite a long time, at least I think the last 10 years or so, on various game-based projects, of which I have been luckily privy. To which I have been luckily privy, sorry. And this one is the first to finally see the light of day. I'm not entirely sure how to describe what we're about to go through, other than if you've played Snatcher and you like 80s mecha anime, you'll know what's going on. If not, it'll just be hopefully a hell of a fun time. I haven't touched this since the demo came out last year. No, the year before, actually. Jesus. So I will be probably completely fresh on a lot of things beyond what he has shown me in our spare time, in our hangouts and whatnots. And I also have a bunch of contact details if anyone wants to check them out for Space Colony Studios. The pixel artist for this, who goes by Buttsman, I believe, and Daniel, the composer. I will, of course, put links in the probably in the YouTube description for people to go down to. They are also in my tweet that's currently available on the Twitters. But yes, if you want to go to Blue Sky, check out Space Colony Studios, or word K Butts Corner, KBUTZKORNER, and Daniel at Flumby Dumby, which is an amazing name. I absolutely adore that. It's FLUMBEEDUMBEE. They are the 3 geniuses responsible for what you're seeing right now. Please go and check them out. Support. This game is now available on Steam. It's also available on Switch and PS5, I believe. Possibly even more than that. Possibly even Xbox, PS4, all that jazz. I don't remember. Oh yeah, definitely PS4, because I was asked about that. Yeah, so it's available pretty much on anything. If you can play a game on it, you can check it out. Please do. It is... Like I said, it is a passion project from a guy I love very much. He has put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and stress into this project. And of course, without any further ado, I think we're just going to dive right in and see what happens. So let's go. September 21st, Planetary Calendar 209. Following a raft of oppressive policies and crackdowns from the Earth-based government of the Solar Federation, the joint forces of the Martian territories, and the Jovian unified colony fleet rebelled. This conflict came to be known as the Solar War. The war carried on for 3 years, but eventually the combined forces of the Martian territories and Jovian United Colony Fleet managed to push the Federation military all the way back to the planet Earth. In the final days of the conflict, a pitched battle was fought in lunar orbit that would decide the war's victor. Oh, I am involved. Sorry, that's me. Lunar orbit aboard the Jovian carrier JFS Kaliki? You reflexively tighten your grip and on your armored frame's twin flight sticks as another wave of vibrations reverberates through the cockpit. The creak of your new flight suit and your quickening breath are the only sounds that you hear above the gentle hum of the frame's subsystems. As you squeeze the controls tighter, their plastic casings creak under the pressure. You try and stay calm, knowing that these gentle vibrations are remnants of huge shockwaves that are buffeting the Kaliki. I should probably have asked about some pronunciations, but I will do that for next time. The carrier that you're stationed on. Each one is a near miss as an explosion tears through the space around the ship. You try to push the thought from your mind and focus on controlling your breathing, but you've already realized that their frequency means the Kaliki must be approaching the front line. Your squadron will be launching soon, and you'll be engaged in your first real sortie, your first real flight, in fact. You feel your throat tighten. Simulations are as good as the real thing. That's what your trainer told all of you. But you know that pilots are supposed to have hundreds of hours of live flights and training exercises in real armored frames before they're allowed anywhere near the front lines.
I love the art style. Like, I know you haven't got properly into the game yet, but like the art style's
pretty cool. Yeah, if it wasn't obvious, John is a big fan of Gundam. John is in fact the one who got me into Gundam. I'm sure I'll probably ramble about that at some point, but yeah, he's the reason why I like mecha anime, and it shows through.
Yeah, I haven't known John very long, but we did kind of like bond a little bit over like 90s anime. So.
Yeah, he's 80s and 90s anime is John's bread and butter. If it has combat mechs or magical girls, he's in. That's his shit. That's his jam. Of course, that didn't happen. Command had told you that the modern simulators meant cadets could graduate without the need for these exercises. You'd overheard the rumors, though. The Jovian colony fleet had lost a lot of pilots, and, still wanting to keep pace with the Martian advance against Earth, had resorted to fielding anyone who could fight. Your whole squadron is just like you, freshly conscripted from Europa Colony. You'd undergone basic training there, but almost all of your flight training had taken place on the cruiser's journey from Jovian space. You wonder how the others are feeling right now. Whether... Maintenance crew. Kaliki 5, this is the flight deck. We're preparing your squad for takeoff. Running last-minute diagnostics on your frame. Activating all systems. Now. Alright, looks all good to go. We'll run a few more checks, then we'll have your spaceborne in a few minutes. You ready to show those Terrans who's boss? Down straight, ready to kick some ass, and ... We're definitely down straight, ready to kick some ass. Yeah, I can't wait to get out there. I'm gonna... You stammer, trying your best to convince not the engineer, but yourself that you're ready for what's waiting for you. Whoa, take a breath there, Kaliki 5. It's not gonna be that bad out. No need to get all riled up here in the hangar. Tell you what, pilot, what's your name? What's your pilot's first name, pilot? Ooh, what is my first name? We'll just go with who I am. Okay, NJ, and what's your surname? Ah, and your pronouns? NJ Finch, that right? Yes. Okay, Ensign Finch, first up, take a few deep breaths for me. In and out, nice and slow, you got that? You draw in one long measured breath and hold it, then release it. Following the engineer's instructions, you repeat this a few more times. After a while, you begin to feel your pulse slow, and some of the tension in your body slip away. You still feel on edge, but feel slightly more in control. Alright, there we go. Now listen up, Ensign. You ain't got a thing to worry about out there. The way I've heard it is that all the Terran's best pilots are taken care of between here and Mars. Heck, Martians are the ones who've been leading the charge today, so they're the ones taking all the flack. Propaganda machines selling this as our decisive strike against Earth's last line of defense. But between you and me, it ain't nothing more than a mopping up situation. A buddy of mine in operations said as much in the canteen last night. Besides, you hear a dull ring for the comms and sit bolt upright in your seat. Hello, puppy. Slouching back and exhaling as you realize it's nothing more than the engineer striking the cockpit armor on your frame. This beauty here's a work of art. Terran frames ain't got nothing on her. She's all tuned up and ready to go. Probably spent more time on this one than I have my own kit. Ha, so don't you worry. Remember what they taught you in training and leave the rest up to her. You'll come out just fine. Despite your startled reaction a moment ago, the engineer's confidence is infectious, and it's starting to rub off on you. You adjust your position in your seat so that you're sat up straight, and the soft hum of the frame system now seems more comforting than ominous. Just a mopping up operation, you think? Martians have done all the work, so we're pretty here. We're sitting pretty here in our top-of-the-line frames. Yeah, nothing to worry about. So, Ensign Finch, how are you feeling about things now? Feeling good, ready to go. Yeah, I'm ready to get out there and kick some ass! You declare, channeling your newly tapped well of confidence. That's the spirit, Ensign. Now hang on to that and we'll have you out of these hangar doors and kicking Terrans around in no time. Left alone with your thoughts, you tune back into the gentle hum of the frame. You watch the seconds tick away on the cockpit clock whilst we wait for the order to launch. The wait seems to drag on and on. You carry out a few last-minute flight checks, but as you've already completed them when you boarded, nothing has changed. Alright, pilots, listen up. This is Kaliki 1. We've been cleared for launch, so be ready for immediate action. All frames will be taken off in designated order. Attack formation, sound off. Kaliki 2, ready. This is Kaliki 3, ready. Kaliki 4 here, ready for takeoff. Kaliki 5, confirm your status. Oh yeah, Kaliki 5 standing by. Keep it together, Kaliki 5. Kaliki 6. Kaliki 6, ready. Alright, Kaliki Squadron, move out. I have decided it's Kaliki. I'm guessing that might be right. I don't know. I'm sure he'll tell me off. Kaliki 1 launching, Kaliki 2 launching, Kaliki 3 launching, Kaliki 4 moving out. Hey, look him go. That is beautiful. Just takes me right back to the Sega Mega Drive days. Classic MS-DOS games. So beautiful. Love this shit. That don't look good. The roll call of your squadron as they depart from the ship and accelerate rapidly toward the combat zone sounds almost like a countdown to you. Once Kaliki 4 has cleared their launch, you know your time has come. You disengage the restraints and prepare yourself. Kaliki! Sorry?
I was thinking of gang notes where, like, Dad's like, prepare your pussy.
Okay. Kaliki 5, prepare your pussy! You shout as you slam your flight sticks forward. That's I guess a euphemism right there. For maximum thrust. Like Danny would. Kaliki 5, abort launch. Cut thrusters. Kaliki 5, abort launch. Abort launch. Huh? The engineer's instructions barely register in the confusion as you're jerked around the cockpit. Your helmet slamming on the control panel as a brief moment of thrust throws you back into your seat before you're whipped forward again. Warnings flash all over your monitors, and sirens and alerts sound from all over the cockpit. Kaliki 5, abort launch and cut thrusters. It takes a few seconds for you to comprehend the engineer, but once you do, you quickly pull the flight sticks back to their neutral position. The roar of your frame's engine dies and your cockpit regains its previous stillness. You wince as the metallic taste of blood fills your mouth. Alright, Kaliki 5, hang tight for a moment. Your frame's restraints didn't accept the disengage command, so you're still attached to the Kaliki. You're gonna need to run a diagnostic. Shouldn't take too long. You slump in the cockpit's chair and exhale deeply, your heart still pounding 1,000,000 beats per minute and your lips steam. Continue to slow your breathing as you listen to the still open communications channel from the maintenance crew as they work to get your frame released. Hey, yeah, looks like the restraints disengaged command didn't register. Yeah, Unit 5. Alright, yeah. Get Unit 6 out, no sense waiting for this one. Okay, start the diagnostic, then reboot if necessary. Kaliki 6 launching. There he goes. Bye-bye. Have fun. Woohoo! What do you mean, hardware fault? We've checked this 10 times since Mars at least. Who was assigned Unit 5? Oh, fine, right. Shut down systems and run the diagnostic again. I want this frame out there in the next 5 minutes. Kaliki 5, we're going to shut down your frame systems for a moment so we can run diagnostics. Stay ready though, we'll have you launching soon. Kaliki 5, understood. Ready and waiting. What a blue ball cock tease. This is all about the penis right now. As your cockpit fades to darkness again, you release the flight sticks, and suddenly realize just how long you've been clenching your fists around them. You flex your fingers and roll your shoulders just like any anime protagonist would, exhaling again as you begin to hear the muffled sounds of the engineers working on your frame's restraints. Staring at the dead monitor, you slowly begin to smile. This was what you wanted, wasn't it? You'd spent so long worrying about this mission that you'd thrown it up twice in the past 24 hours, and now it looks like that was all for nothing. You got what you wanted, and you were safe. As safe as you can be, strapped to the outside of a military carrier in an inactive armor frame anyway. Your smile widens inadvertently at that thought, getting shut down in an inactive frame still in its restraints. You'd become a cautionary tale for engineers and pilots throughout the entire Jovian colony fleet. Your mind turns quickly to the rest of your squadron. When they returned, you'd be the laughingstock of the entire Kaliki. The pilots who'd spent their entire first mission stuck in a dark cockpit. You dodged a bullet, but you'd never... This is Kaliki 6. They've cut off the flight path. There's more. There's a whole squadron of carriers coming in from the E field. Kaliki 1, they're going to cut you off the fleet. Kaliki 6's signal disappearing as you sit bolt upright as you begin pressing buttons. Excuse me. Trying to activate your cockpit's main monitor so you can see what's going on. However, with your frame system shut down remotely by the maintenance crew, you could do nothing but sit in the dark stillness and listen to events unfold. Kaliki 6, respond! Kaliki 6, what's going on? How many carriers are coming out from E field? Ma'am, Kaliki 6's signal has been lost. It's not responding. He's Hold her together, Kaliki 4. All units form up defensive formation on me. I said all units, Kaliki 2, don't break from formation. Ma'am, they're firing on us. There's so many of them. Oh God, help! In an instant, your communications channel is flooded with cries of terror and panic. You hear your squad's mates, your fellow pilots, exclamations of fear as this unexpected enemy force bears down on them. Right-click brings up the menu option. That's handy to know. Screams and yelps, wails and howls fill your head as you sit powerless in the dark confines of your cockpit. Hey, who's out there? Engineering, hey, get me ready, I can help. Get me ready for launch. Engineering! They're getting killed out there. I need to go now. You shout demands to get your frame ready for launch over the channel, but are met with no response. In the dark of the cockpit, with your controls unresponsive, you can't be sure whether the channel is closed or if no one's listening. With all attention turned to receiving the battle-damaged units from your squad. Listen to me, anyone, get me out of here. You desperately begin attempting a manual override of your systems, but find that nothing responds to you. The only spark of life that you can glean from your frame is the small diagnostics progress bar. Things over here. I need to be out there. Anyone, hey! In one last desperate attempt, you begin hammering on your cockpit walls, hoping to get the attention of the engineers you could hear outside earlier. The entire time, the chaos of the combat out in space is narrated to you with broken fragments of radio chatter. There's 3, 4 on me. I've lost my shield. I can't shake them. They're everywhere. They're dead. The line of retreat's totally cut off. I can't go back to the ship. Ma'am, what do we do? What do we do? Stop panicking and form up. 3 and 4 on me. We're going to punch a hole through their formation and... Ma'am, come in, ma'am. Oh, God, no. One by one, your squad's signals disappear, and the cacophony of panic disappears, replaced by the gentle hiss of static. You stop hammering on the side of your cockpit as the last voice is cut off. You're drenched in a cold sweat now, and your empty stomach feels like a rock has sunk to the bottom of it. You lean back and stare blankly ahead. This is Kalagi 5. Ready for takeoff? September 21st, Planetary Calendar 209. Despite last-minute reinforcements for the Solar Federation from their headquarters on Earth, the battle above Lunar is a victory for the joint Martian and Jovian forces. This would be the final battle of the Solar War. Having lost their last stronghold on Lunar, the Solar Federation would agree to a ceasefire and sign an armistice to end hostilities. An uneasy peace fills the solar system. With the conflict between the Solar Federation and the Martian-Jovian alliance concluded, the Kalaki and her crew soon returned to Europa, colony near Jupiter. April 19th, Planetary Calendar 214. 5 years later, the reduced need for pilots away from the delicate space between Earth and Mars saw Ensign Finchery assigned to security detail aboard various Jovian ships. He is eventually promoted to lieutenant. Yay me! 4 years have passed since the battle above Lunar. The Jovian colony fleet, fearing fresh aggression from Earth, has increased patrols near its colonies after picking up unusual signals coming from further out in the solar system. The patrol ship JFS Gundog is dispatched to support the JFS O'Brien in its investigation of these signals. Jovian space, aboard the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. That's the one in the title. Oh, I got a trophy. As the rumble of the Gundog's engines roar to life reverberates through the ship, you clench your fists. It's been 4 years, and to this day, the sensation of tremors, whether they're ship engines, docking clamps, or weapon drills, still tie your stomachs in knots. A bad trait for a ship security officer. You shake your head and exhale slowly, taking a moment before stowing the last of your possessions and pushing the drawer closed. You feel the click as it locks into place, and the exterior plastic paneling sits completely flush with its surroundings. Stepping back, you look around the room. You take another deep breath and hold it for a moment. Although this war is far from your first posting as a security officer, you always felt the same sense of trepidation, if not anxiety. As similar as all these ships were, they all came with their own unique crews and personalities, and with those came unique problems. Breathing out, you take a look around the room, taking stock of your surroundings. Select the look button to examine your surroundings. Yep. Classic. A standard cruise bunk. Once you've slept in one, you've slept in them all. Although this one is nicer than the ones I've been assigned to. The wall panel can be removed by jimmying it with a thin object, and crew members often stash contraband there. Looks like this one's not been touched though. Terminal lets me access the ship's computer. It's got a clock, a word processor, and even a calendar. I can also access records and my orders from here, but for anything else I need to access the core, which is limited to those in operations or command. A standard door with an electronic lock and magnetic bolting system. The only way in or out, unless you plan on getting creative with maintenance tunnels. I do want to get creative with maintenance tunnel. Allow me to get creative with maintenance tunnels. Use the bed. I've only just boarded and it's still the middle of the day based on Jovian Standard Time. Bed. I've only just boarded now. I want to go to bed. Let me go to bed. Boo. 1 out of 10. Not a good game. Won't let me go to bed straight away. Oh, it looks like I've been instructed to report to the bridge to meet the captain. I haven't met anyone yet since my transport to the spaceport ran late, and I just about made it aboard before launch. I had toast in my mouth and everything. Because I slept in. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I am late. First I burned my toast, and then I had to pick up a Sailor Scout. Select the move button to move to a different location. Move! Corridor. You step into an empty corridor and the door to your quarters gently hisses shut behind you. Its keypad gives a short series of beeps and you hear the lock engage. The dull thrum of the ship's systems is barely audible, but otherwise you are stood in total silence. The air is cooler outside of your quarters and the corridor has a sterile lack of aroma. This has been the same on every ship you've been stationed on, and at this point it doesn't surprise you. Okay, this is a Swift-class patrol vessel, which means if I leave this quarters block, I'll be in the Foresight Thoroughfare. If I go right towards the aft, I'll arrive in the central hub, and then I can head to the bridge. Nerd! I also like to take a quick moment to point out how amazing and perfect this music has been so far. This is, what is this reminding me of? This is like something that I used to play on Game Boy Advance or something, like, I'm not sure, but I'm loving it. Let's look at everything. Hansen Cruris. Ah, shit, it's a Welsh name. Harv Rumney doesn't sound familiar, but apparently Hansen Cruris does. Dalton Grange, not someone I've met before. Dylan Dees, can't say I've run into them on any other ship. Don't think going in there would be a good idea. I may be security, but under normal circumstances, they can't just barge into someone's room without being invited in. That sounds like the words of a quitter. I don't need to go in here right now. I don't think going in there would be a good idea. Foresight Thoroughfare. Warning, low gravity. That is a wonderful little sign. I want one just like that. John, note for the future. Make little signs that say warning, low gravity. Perfect merch option. In fact, I'm going to message him that right now.
I like it too.
Merch idea. That is one of the worst pictures I have ever taken. No, go away. I want one of these signs. Do it, scrub. This is an interesting sensation. Being able to see something in this game and then directly message the person who actually created it. Anyway, you leave the crew block behind you, and find yourself in a much larger corridor that stretches off to your left and with multiple smaller corridors leading from it. To your right, the corridor leads to a large plaza-like space. A very faint breeze coming from your left ruffles your hair and chills you slightly, and you hear the sounds of human activity. From the right, you can hear the hum of the ship's engines more clearly now, as well as the occasional low, quiet whirring sound. Looks like I was right. This portion of the thoroughfare will lead me let me access both sets of crew quarters, the mess hall, the hangar, and the central hub. From there, I can access the rest of the ship's areas. I should hurry up to meet the captain before I look around anywhere else. No, I'm gonna look around everywhere. The ship's hangar. Since I'm on security detail, the only time I should be spending there is when I'm carrying out my daily checks. On a larger ship, you'd see people coming and going constantly, so it's eerie how quiet this one is. Cannot check out this awesome sign. The mess hall. I don't imagine a ship this size has a cook or even a kitchen, so it's probably just a vendmate unit. I wonder what could be down that way. Fire control, maybe? But we've Captain show up many opportunities to check it out later. I had a decent meal back on the colony before I came aboard. Since we don't know how long this batch will last, it could be a while before I have anything that isn't made from long life ingredients. I'll figure out what's down there later. Central Hub. JFS Brogder. Spear. Burger. Oh, bridge. Duh. As you enter the central hub, you hear a low whirring noise and the engines grow louder. You can see the readouts above one of the elevators change, letting you know someone is using it to travel to another part of the ship. Looking around, you see the entrances to both the fore and aft side thoroughfares, as well as the corridors for the airlocks. These elevators will take me to the bridge, where the captain will be. I shouldn't waste any more time. Let's waste more time! Most of the ship can be accessed from the two thoroughfares, but some areas like the bridge are situated on different levels, so need to be accessed by elevators. There should be access from maintenance crawlways around here somewhere, but those are usually only for emergencies. Nope, so we said that bit. That way leads to the aft of the ship. I'm not totally familiar with Swift-class ships, but at least I know that the engine room is that-a-way. That's the foreside thoroughfare where I've just come from. The crew's quarters, hangar and mess hall are down that way, probably. Never mind that you've just been there. Knowing that you need to report to the captain who, at this point of your ship's journey, should be stationed on the bridge, you make your way towards the elevators and press the cool button. Don't press the start button. You step back and watch the indicators above each elevator, waiting for the one to arrive. As you wait, your mind begins to wander, and you're caught unaware as you feel something suddenly jab you in the back, and a voice from behind you declares, "Hands in the air, identify yourself." Your posture stiffens as you snap back to reality. Oop, there goes gravity. Oh. Caught completely off guard by the voice behind you. Thoughts race through your mind as you try to figure out what's going on. Could there already be another security detail on board? That shouldn't be possible. As far as you knew, you were the only one. Unless... I said hands in the air, punk. You tentatively raise your hands, palms flat, mum spaghetti, and facing forwards, as whatever has been thrust into the small of your back is removed slowly, and you hear the person behind you take a step backwards. You exhale and begin to turn around. Lieutenant Finch, security detail, ID SO254 JFSG. I'm on my way to the captain, to meet the captain, to you. Where you'd been expecting a gruff crew member, instead you're met with a bright and cheery officer waving a pen around with a large smile on her face. You're taken aback for a moment, as this isn't just any officer. This is... Cassie, what are you? Aww, what an adorable little hug. NJ, I've missed you so much. You big doofus, you should have seen your face when you turned around. You were all... I love that face you make when you think you're in trouble. It's like you think playing the big soldier will get you out of trouble. It's so cute. Lieutenant Commander Cassandra Quinn. You should have known, really. She's always been one for bad jokes and stupid pranks as long as you've known her. Her less than professional attitude and penchant for responsibility is the reason why, despite her talents, she's not commanding a ship of her own. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good did I get you? You totally thought you were being busted, right? But if you're being honest, her playful nature is what attracted you to her in the first place. Ooh. Oh. Wait, what? You've been dating for nearly 2 years now, but a lot of that has been over electronic mail or in letters. Your postings have never lined up until now. Cassie, what are you doing here? I thought you were stationed on the Reliant. You never said you were being transferred. What happened? Well, the thing about that is you might say that a disagreement with the head of operations on the Reliant led to a lateral trajectory for my career. Cassandra, please. Okay. So maybe when it came time to change the ship's cybersecurity password, I couldn't be bothered to spend all day sitting in the computer core, waiting for it to generate new code, so I just changed all the existing passwords by a single digit. Oop. Ah, that's handy. If you press down... Wait, how do I do that? Who even knows? You place your face in your hands as a dull groan rises from the back of your... Oh, I see. Scroll. Scroll wheel brings up the... Place your face in your hands as a dull groan rises from the back of your throat. This isn't the first time you've heard a story like this. And maybe it turns out when they run the cyber security drills that they assume that the enemy have your old passwords. So try brute forcing from those. And maybe that meant the ship was compromised in 0.5 seconds. But at least they found out I'd done that in a drill and not in a real engagement, right? I basically saved the entire ship in advance. I'm surprised you're still stationed on a ship. How are you not stuck back in a records room on Europa colony right now? That is a pretty grievous issue. Well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but if I can't trust you, who can I trust? Well, I mean, if you're my girlfriend, you should be able to. It turns out this mission was organized at really short notice, and the Gundog was the only ship available. The problem was that they'd been having issues with the crew, so they had to transfer in some short notice. Transfer some in short notice. Lucky for me that I've been so recently made available. That's weird. I'd only just been stationed. Excuse me. I'd only just been stationed on the Duke, so I shouldn't have been free to be transferred. Okay, you figured it out. I may have used one of my contacts in the academy who works in resources to transfer you over here. Pretty sure you know every regulation you broke by doing that. Oh, what was I supposed to do? Get stationed on some tiny ship heading out to the middle of nowhere with no one I know on the crew? We wouldn't have seen each other in months. Aren't you glad to see me? Of course I'm glad to see you. I've missed you too, you know. It's been a long time. You don't become part of the Reliance Operations Department without some serious talent. I'm not going anywhere. I'm intrigued. What sound like? Ah! So I thought I'd had it set on Dojin mode. As you can see, there are 3 graphics options: Dojin mode, Studio mode, and Vivid mode. I guess I'll just leave it on Vivid mode since I thought I was in Dojin mode, but oh well. Oh, you said you were on your way to see the captain, right? Have you had a chance to take a look around the ship yet? No, not yet. I was going to... Great, I'll show you around. I've been here a few days, so I basically know the ship like the back of my hand. Where do you want to go first? I was on my way to see the captain, and I felt the engine start up, so I know we're launching soon, and I thought that I should probably report in as soon as possible. Oh, don't worry about that. I've already logged you on board, so it's just a formality now. Besides, Captain Bartomeu isn't exactly a stickler for procedures, so we can check out anywhere you want before we head up there. Well, alright, in that case. Great! This is going to be the best tour you've ever been on. By the time it's over, you'll have seen every inch of the ship and met everyone on board. It's been so long since we last saw each other, we definitely need to take time to stop by my quarters and get reacquainted. You can now access every area of the Gundog. Select the talk button to view from the list of who's available to talk to. Change your mind, press the talk button again. You look around the central hub as Cassandra already begins to make her way to your first destination, waving at you to follow. My abysmal ship, you think, but now would be the perfect opportunity to learn its layout and familiarize yourself with where you'll be spending your current duty. Plus, you admit it wouldn't hurt to meet all the crew. Better to get to know them sooner rather than later. I can talk to Cassandra. You know, it's kind of funny now that I think about it. What is? This area is called the Central Hub, but to be honest, the only places you can get to straight away from here are the airlock, sickbay, or the bridge. Well, it's right in the middle of the bridge of the ship, so it connects everything together via the 2 thoroughfares, right? Kind of, but if you want to get to engineering to do some mechanical work, you've got a long way to go to the blah blah blah. Yeah, that. Then if you want to do pretty much anything else, you've got to go the other way. The 4-side thoroughfare is way more of a hub since you can get to all sorts of places really quickly. Get some snacks from the mess hall to take back to your quarters. Easy. If you want to take a quick soda whilst taking audit in the hangar, you're there and back in no time. They should move the bridge to the front of the ship. Sounds to me like you just want a vending machine on the bridge. Hey, that's not a bad idea. But still, it's a long way to get to the other end of the ship, no matter where you're going from. Oh, I need a drink.
It's after 6.
Sorry?
It's after 6.
Yeah. I don't have a problem.
You do? You say you can't eat have sugar at late at night.
Yeah, later at night. It's for your benefit, because you're the one who can't sleep.
Yeah, but I'm like that anyway whenever I had Monster on,
Really?
so that... Yeah. Sometimes I've been up since 3 or 4 and I haven't had any Monster.
You're still beating your Kindle, haven't
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with
you?
it.
It very much has much to do with it.
It does not.
It really does.
It doesn't.
It does.
A lot of time I just like fall asleep as I'm reading it.
But not actually going to sleep.
Shut up.
If you're falling asleep while you're reading, you know what that means, right?
What?
You should go to sleep.
Whatever.
Just keep yourself up. I love you, but you need to sort that out.
I love you too.
Thank you. How would you solve that problem? Maybe change the shape of the ship so the center is really the center? It's space, so you can make a really efficient shape like a cube or something. A cube? I guess it could be efficient, but I don't think anyone would take a cube-shaped ship seriously. You have anything else to say? No, it's kind of funny anything about one of the... Yeah, same thing. But what do you think of Cassie?
She's cute.
Apparently she's your girlfriend.
She kind of looks like Miranda, actually.
What?
I'm just saying she does.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah. She looks like her.
Makes sense.
Miranda's John's wife, if anyone's wondering.
Let's check out the aft thoroughfare. As the two of you leave the central hub behind you and travel down the aft side thoroughfare, the hum of the engines continues to grow louder. You'd effectively filtered the noise out from the rest of the ship, but as you get closer to the rear of the ship, its volume increases considerably. Are the engines supposed to be that loud? Are the what? I said, are the engines supposed to be that loud? The what? I said the engines... I heard you the first time, I'm just messing with you. Could have fooled me. I've never been on a ship where the engines are so noticeable. Is it supposed to be like that? Supposed to? No, not really. But the Gundog is a Swift class, a type of patrol ship that's designed for rapid response. They're made to cover large areas of space quickly and offer basic assistance to ships in distress. That ought to be the first on the scene to gather intel and issue warnings if anyone comes too close to Jovian space. Which means, design-wise, they prioritize speed above everything else. I guess the best way to sum it all up is that the Gundog is basically a huge set of engines with a tiny ship strapped to them. Well, that's reassuring. Oh, it's fine. It just means there's no space for systems like motion dampeners or soundproofing. You'll miss it when you leave. There is an upside to these vibrations coming from the engines. Oh yeah. Check this out. You watch as Cassandra crouches down, takes a pen out from the pocket and lays it on the floor. As soon as she removes her hand, it begins to slowly edge away from her, moved by the vibrations carried through the ship. Ta-da! That's great. I know, right? Back on the Reliant, we used to go to the engine rooms and race stationary, stationary on the gangways near the engines. I had a red pen that moves 3 times faster than anything else. 3 times faster, huh? You know it. Can't believe I lost it, though. Oh hey, what have you got in your pockets? A keycard and a pack of gum, why? Race is on! First from this panel to that panel, the loser buys us something from the vending machine. I'm gonna use the gum. Okay, let's go with the gum. Place your packet of gum on the floor next to the pen and stand up. A tense 30 seconds follows as the two objects slowly jitter their way along the floor, almost neck and neck the entire way. Come on, Byro, you got this. You can do this, gum. Sporting event of the century looks like it'll end in a draw, but at the last moment, your packet of gum slowly moves off in a different direction. This allows Cassie's pen to take the lead and pass over the seam between the one floor panel and the other. Arrgh! Yes, drinks are on you. Oh, how about you buy some chocolate? I guess, sure. Oh, and some chips too. Wait a sec. And some of those gummy candies. Hey, slow down. And marshmallow. There's no way I'm buying you all that. gas? Sad face? Don't you make that face at me. Okay, fine, some chocolate and some chips. Crisps, John, seriously? And some... no. Yep, okay. What's this? Down that corridor is the armory, where all the ship's firearms are stored. Normally access has to be granted from the bridge, but since you're the security officer, you've got access coded into your keycard. That way leads to the engineering block. From there, you can access the engine room, the main computer, and most of the ship's systems. Although you won't be going anywhere near those systems if the chief has anything to say about it. Let's check out the armory. Swipe your keycard to the card reader set into the terminal by the armory's door. Instead of the door opening as you would expect, you hear a harsh tone from the terminal. Looking at the screen, you see a message displayed in large flashing letters. Access denied. Insufficient authority. Looks like your clearance hasn't been fully processed yet. You have to meet with the captain before you can get into that room. Engineering. As the two of you continue through the aft thoroughfare, the thrum of the engines grows louder still. The featureless paneling that has made up the majority of the ship's interior quickly gives way to the visible pipes and conduits, and eventually the smooth flooring transitions to grating, revealing more workings underfoot. Finally, the thoroughfare leads into one huge open chamber filled with masses of machinery. Terminal panels set into the side of various apparatus cycle through different readings, with light on the screens reflected off ducts and valves. All this equipment is separated by a grid of catwalks and access ladders. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is right. This is central engineering. Pretty much every system aside from the engines themselves and central computer can be found in this room. All in one place, isn't that a little risky? Well, a Swift-class ship relies on an absolutely minimal crew. The Gundog only has 2 engineers. I think they figured it'd be easier on them if everything that was important was kept in one place. That way they don't have to run from one end of the ship to the other to get all their repairs done if something goes wrong. Huh, you certainly know a lot about ship engineering. What can I say? I'm a pretty talented individual. Oh yeah, whilst we're here, you can share some of that knowledge. What's that over there? That's the Pholenic conversion unit. And what's that? Oh, that's the omnifaceted wane shaft. And what about that? That's the turbo encabulator. Every day's a school day. I'm head of operations, not chief engineer, okay? I don't need to know what. Hey, no one better be screwing around up there. You both jump as a stern voice barks at you from below. Looking down, you see through the grating that there's another catwalk situated below the one you stood on, with a crew member walking at speed towards a ladder that joins the 2 walkways. I swear if I find so much as a single terminal readout out of place, I'm stuffing the 2 of you into the organics processing system. If I have to retrieve one more pen from behind the compressors, the crew member continues to grumble as they ascend. Quinn, you better not be here to tell me that your favorite pen has somehow fallen into the system block again. No, Chief. Got it right here. Damn straight you do. Now make sure you hold on to that one, or you're going to need someone to pull you out of the system block instead. And who's this? A wayward security officer. You got a name there? You quickly throw a sharp salute at the woman in front of you without even checking her rank first. Not only does she loom over you physically, but you quickly pick up on a force of personality that feels like it adds an extra 6 inches to her considerable stature. Lieutenant Finch, security officer for the JFS Gundog, ma'am. Less of that ma'am business, Finch. Name's Mackenzie Cathays. Chief engineer, but that's chief to you. Yes, my chief. Chief straight. No, down straight. Come on. Now, what are you 2 doing in engineering? I was just giving Lieutenant Finch a tour of the ship, Chief. That's so. You've never been on the ship before, Lieutenant? First assignment. Never on a Swift class, Chief. Only served on a strike or supply classes to date. That's so. Which strike vessels? JFS Victory and the JFS Thunderbolt, Chief. Victory and Thunderbolt, huh? Don't think either of those 2 are less than 3 years old, so probably wouldn't have seen so you probably wouldn't have seen what the new streamlined distribution system. I wonder if you would have seen the power coils, though. I think the Victory was part of that production. You and Cassandra exchange a quick, nervous glance as the chief, who'd previously seemed like she was about to physically throw both of you out of engineering, suddenly begins a conversation with herself. You continue to stand to a nervous attention as she ruminates about ship components. Chief, is there anything I can help you with about these ships? Oh, Lieutenants, didn't realize you were still here. No, you're off the hook, Finch. Not unless you can tell me whether the Victory was outfitted with the 3rd generation B-Pack upgrades anyway. Sorry, Chief, don't think I could. What if it's because the retrofitting takes into account space availability in the ship's interior for minimal transversal impact? Although maybe it could be that it takes... I think now would be a good time for us to move on. Good idea. Well, that's all, Chief. We'll just be going now. Oh yeah, sure. Just don't let me catch you screwing around in here again. Bye, Meryl. Yes, Lieutenant. Well, Chief, I was just stopping by to... Tell me, Finch, what is it that the ship security officer on a vessel with only 10 crew does all day? Oh, so that is... Because I'll tell you what a chief engineer does. Chief engineer spends every damn minute of the day trying to keep pace with all the systems on board this vessel, making sure they're all running absolutely flawlessly. You know why? It's because if I don't, then it's a thin line between optimum comfort and a horrific death in the cold expanse we call space. So I'll be frank, Lieutenant. Unless you're about to help me redirect these condensers while I refresh the primary moisture chamber, then I don't know what good is going to come from you hanging around and distracting me. Understood? Yes, Chief. Well done. If you really want something to do, you can go and check up with the junior engineer in the hangar. Kid's probably slowed down since I last put the fear of the void into him. Wow. Okay, but really, when Chief says we shouldn't screw around in here, she's right. We should probably get moving. What did you do? Why would you say that? Really though, what did... Who the hell dropped the chocolate bars or the secondary moisture converter? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's melted into the outlet valve. I'll kill them. Let's go. Central computer. You swipe your keycard through the card reader set into the terminal by the door leading to the central computer. The door isn't open and instead you hear a harsh tone from the terminal, which is now displaying an error message. Looking at its screen, you see a message displayed in large flashing letters. Access denied. Insufficient authority. Oh, even with your security clearance, you won't be able to get into the main computer room. Because the staff is so small, the ship's computer handles a lot of tasks that were normally done by the crew. It controls a lot of really sensitive functions, so only the captain and the operations team are allowed access. Oh, I don't think any of the ships I've been on had a computer system like this. The bigger ships usually have their computing distributed amongst multiple systems across the ship. But because they've also got larger crews, there's more that the people on board are responsible for. I think that because the Swift class is so small and there's such a limited crew, they need to assign more functionality to the computer. Because of that, it's a lot more vital that no one screws around with it. I see. You said that operations have access. Can we take a look using your authority? Well, since the whole reason I'm here is that I didn't exactly take my responsibilities with the Reliance computer system seriously, the captain's told me not to mess around with it. Ah. But it's not that interesting anyway. Engines? Two of you watch from around the corner as Chief Cafes continues to mutter to herself, paces back and forth, checking terminal readouts and various displays. Eventually, she heads down the ladder, which she climbed to confront you. Now out of sight, Cassandra darts towards the engine room, gesturing you over. Checking over your shoulder in case the Chief has reappeared, you make your way to her, just in time for the doorway to the engine room to open and Cassandra to disappear inside before you can raise an objection. Well, it's gotta be better than staying here with the Chief. The room you find yourself in is a similar size to the area you just left, but whilst that was crammed full of huge range of machinery, this room is almost entirely filled by one colossal cylindrical device. The pulse of the engine is now a tangible sensation as the vibrations it emits shake your whole body. So this is the main engine, well, one of them anyway. Like Chief said, the ship's outfitted with 2 of these. I see what you meant now that you said the gun dog's a huge set of engines with a ship strapped to them. That thing's massive. Massage. Yes, it's a massage. I know. I look at it and I feel like you could probably fit the rest of the ship in this room if the engines weren't there. That's because it's impossible to get the Higgs field distortion drive any smaller. Ah, Chief. Oh, Chief, I know you said so these engines are actually a combination nuclear pulse engines built around a Higgs field distortion drive. If the HFDD wasn't here, then this engine could be about 10 times smaller than it is. Although I hear they've managed to improve the efficiency of newer NPEs, so it's possible that the space saving could be more like 11 times smaller. Can either of you tell me how a HFDD works? HFDD. Higgs Field Distortion Drive. What are they teaching you at the Academy? It's the drive that allows ships to move far beyond speeds allowed by conventional engines, although it's nowhere near faster than light. It's what lets us get around the solar system without needing to worry about whether we'll live long enough to see the end of the journey. Anyway, everyone knows about the existence of the Higgs field. It's what allows interactions with the Higgs boson that gives particles their mass. Oh right, So what the drive does is warp the field relative to the ship and those on board. By doing this, it replaces the mass to a different area of space, but within the same relative. As the Chief continues on with her explanation, you glance at Cassandra and see a thinly veiled look of terror on her face. Can't blame her, as you feel much the same way, quoting this impromptu lecture. Then, because the particles retain their relationship with each other, the general perception is that things are the same as normal. However, from an exterior perspective, the lecture drags on and you quickly lose track of the Chief's explanation. Although you recognize the words she's saying, you can no longer make sense of the context. They come to seem like a meaningless string of sounds. Does that make sense? Yeah, so the field is it's got the mass, which is pushed. No, how to put it? Okay, so imagine that space is a ketchup packet and you're the sauce. The sauce. Right, the sauce. Now what this distortion drive does, it's like a thumb in the universe of the packet. It moves the sauce around by changing the shape of the packet to push the sauce. The packet is the universe, where the sauce and drive is a thumb. You've got it. You quickly glance back to Cassandra and meet her eyes as she's doing the same thing. You know for certain that neither of you have got it. And that's why these engines have to be so big, to house that drive. Oh, it all makes sense now. I see, yes, definitely. Great. Well, now that you're appreciated the science behind it, I won't have to throw you out of here. Thanks, Chief. Anytime. Just remember, Lieutenant. Yes, Chief. Screw with anything and I'll throw you out the airlock instead. Yes, Chief. The sauce. So we're the source. Right. And the universe is the packet. I thought that field was the packet. And then is the field in the universe or the universe in the field? We're going to have some very theoretically challenging mealtimes. Yes, we are. What are the ship's 2 engines? Apparently it's this big because it's a combination of standard nuclear pulse engine and a Higgs field distortion drive. He had almost lost consciousness when the Chief was explaining it to me. Nothing else to look at. I can't be 100% certain that Chief was joking when she offered me that one-way trip at the airlock. I'll leave it alone. Okay, where else can we go? After Thoroughfare. Central Hub.
That's really cool.
Is that?
That looks really cool.
It is.
How's the music?
Wonderful. I've got to go pee actually, so if you want to listen to something, you can.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No.
I didn't mean to squash you.
Oh, dear.
Sorry.
She was hidden.
I didn't realise where you were.
Yeah, I didn't see her. I thought she was under the blanket. Cool.
Sorry.
Hello, Pee-Pee.
You gotta go.
She's fine.
It's like small.
Airlock. And this is the main airlock. It's the main way to get on and off the ship when it's docked. Thanks. I've already been here. Oh, really? When? Actually, I think I'm confusing it with somewhere else. What else can you tell me? Well, it's got one of the best views on the ship, that's one thing. You look around but can't see any windows. You wouldn't expect to on a military vessel where an inclusion like that would compromise the structure. Here? Really? Yeah, really, check it out. Cassandra strides over to the terminal set into the wall to the airlock hatch. Next to the airlock hatch, quickly begins typing commands into it. You hear a sequence of beeps and she stands back, gesturing proudly at the screen. Not too bad, huh? You look at the screen, but all you see is a dark display with a few errant pixels suspended on it. Is that working? Of course it's working, look. You stare a little harder at the screen, and although it takes you a moment, you eventually realize that's an external feed. You don't feed. Oh, okay. That's right, normally you can only actually see out of the gun dock from either the bridge or the hangar, but the ship's covered in small cameras for combat situations. You can access the feeds from the terminals around the ship. That's actually pretty cool. Isn't the view from the bridge or the hangar better, because you're actually looking out? Well, maybe, but there's always someone else around. You never get the view to yourself. No one ever comes here and it's quiet. It's almost like you're out there. I guess I can see what you mean. It's pretty quiet out this way, and with a fancy screen like that, it's basically the real view. I knew you'd understand. I'll add the command to your terminal access. That way you can come out here and see the stars whenever you want. Thanks. So, do you come out to the airlock a lot? Define a lot. More than once for coming on board and once for departing. There's nothing wrong with hanging out in the airlock. Sometimes you just need a bit of personal space. On a small ship like this, it's the only place you can really get some time to yourself. Even on a big ship like the Reliant, there's not many places to get away from anyone. I just find it really relaxing to know I'm this close to being out in space, away from everyone, everything. Sometimes it feels like I was made to be out there, not cooped up in here. I didn't know you enjoyed that much I didn't know you enjoyed that part of space. For most people, looking out to the expanse for too long triggers a kind of existential dread. I knew a guy on another ship that couldn't bear to look out into space. He started getting the jitters whenever he did. Sometimes if he got drunk on duty, he'd start saying all kinds of weird stuff about how humanity's souls were never meant to be unbound from gravity. I don't know, it's just like there's something out there that's calling me, Cthulhu! Well, that's until I'm late for my shift and the captain sends out a ship-wide message telling me to haul ass up to the bridge. Then I know there's something calling me. Okay, on that note, I'm just gonna have a quick be right back. Je retourne. Sorry. They are pretty good. These spacesuits are for emergencies only. Every crew member has an assigned suit that's stored near the main station. These suits here are in case of evacuation when those stations are inaccessible. Aside from the fact it controls like an airlock, it's a terminal like any other. Although with the silence, I suppose that's one good thing for getting a relaxing view of the stars. This is the main crew airlock for crew use. It's used to load and offload basic supplies and equipment. Everything else is brought in through the hangar airlock. Underneath that panel is the manual control for the external airlock hatch, just in case of mechanical power or power failure. I've had to open one as part of a drill before, and it's not easy. I'll leave those where they are. I'm not going anywhere, and any usage of emergency supplies has to be reported. I don't feel like walking out into space anytime soon, although if I actually wanted to use it, I'd need to go via the terminal. This terminal, alongside its other standard features, is used to control the airlock. I can also get a look at what's going on outside of the ship. View the stars. I've got a few minutes. I could spare some time for stargazing. Yep, that's space alright. It is indeed space. Really shouldn't mess around with that. It's very tricky to get back home once it's removed. Central hub. Sick bay. The elevator doors hiss open and you both step out into a wide open room. You're immediately struck by the glare of the high-powered lights that are set to the ceiling, and just as you regain your vision, the powerful aroma of clinical disinfectant burns at your nostrils. Looking around, you see the standard features of a sick bay, a set of beds that extrude from the wall on one side and a large gallery window set into the wall on the other, indicating the presence of a surgery wing. The walls are lined with cupboards and cabinets containing medical supplies and various devices set on countertops. In the middle of the room is a large desk set to face the entrance. On the side closest to it are two chairs. On the other sits a figure that you almost mistake for a piece of medical equipment until they look up. Ms. Quinn, excellent timing. I've just finished the analysis of your... Hey, Doc, don't worry about that right now. I'm giving a tour to our new security officer. Very good, Miss Quinn. Hello, Lieutenant Finch. I'm the ship's Dr. Safer Rosarium. I've reviewed your file already, so please feel free to stop by with any complaints. But since you're here, Miss Quinn, I'd really like to talk about your gastro. Honestly, Doctor, it's fine. We can talk about it. Intestinal. Doctor, later. Distress. Okay, Doctor, a moment, please. Honey, if you could give me a few minutes with the Doctor. Yeah, no problem. Cassandra grabs the Doctor by the sleeve and drags him over to the surgery wing, yanking him through behind her. Once the door closes, you can't hear them, but you can still see the two through the gallery window. You decide to turn your attention away and examine a nearby poster of space illnesses. Pandorum? Yes, thank you, Doctor, I understand. So that includes any synthetic meats or carbohydrates. Understood. But as I've explained, I've got a full supply of Nutri-Shake powders that should serve as a balanced replacement for the meals from the food vendor and should alleviate your doctor. Tummy troubles. This tour is moving on. I like him. Those beds are for patients who need to stay in sick bay for whatever reason. All the monitors behind them are to display patients' vital statistics. It's rare you'll see one used. All those cupboards and cabinets are jam-packed with different medical supplies, tools, nutritional supplements, and so on. I guess it's good to have it all on hand. That portion of the sick bay is separated off for surgical procedures. It has its own separate environment controls and is completely sealed from the rest of the ship when in use. It also contains robotic assistant units. It's state-of-the-art, but you'd still never want to end up in there. I can think of a few better places to go to relax than down here. Now's not the time for me to go through all the medical supplies. I think I'll leave that one up to a professional. So, I swear, not one for patient-doctor confidentiality. That man is like a laser beam. He gets straight to whatever task is in front of him with no time for things like common courtesy, bedside manner, or privacy. Yeah, I got that impression. The worst part is that after all of that, he tells me I'm allergic to the synthetic elements they use in the mess hall's food vendor. Can you believe I'm on a Nutri-Shake diet between now and when we return to port? I thought those ingredients were supposed to be hypoallergenic. No animal product suitable for everyone. I know, but the doctor's saying it's a rare condition that means I react to one of the compounds they use in production. So, no more hamburgers for you? But there's one silver lining. What's that? The vending machines use real ingredients. Chocolate and chips are still on the menu. An important part of any balanced diet. Ah, Lieutenant, are you feeling unwell? No, I'm feeling fine. Have you come to pick up any medication? No, I'm totally alright, thanks. Have you come in for a precautionary checkup? No, nothing like that. Then are you here to ask about my mechanical elements? What? No, of course not. Oh. Well, in that case, Lieutenant Finch, I'm not sure I can help you today. Don't worry about it. Moving on. Back to the force. As you head away from the central hub, the noise from the engines becomes quieter, and the ambient temperature feels noticeably cooler. The thoroughfare stretches out in front of you, with doorways leading to other areas of the ship visible in the distance. And here we are in the fortified thoroughfare. Yes, I know. I went to my quarters earlier when I came aboard. Gas! What did you just say? Foreside thoroughfare. No, I don't think you did. I 100% said Foresight thoroughfare. Are you making fun of me? Because I was struggling to say that earlier. Aha! It's a tricky thing to say. You try saying it quickly. I'm not reading that. Aha, yourself. We'll call this one a draw, Lieutenant. Ship's hangar. I wonder if there's anyone there right now with a crew this small. Mess hall and what kind of air machine they have aboard. Yeah, she can't do it either. That's what we're getting from that. You've been next up on the tour, I guess. Would you like to move to the hangar? Yes, PP. Kindly don't. PP. As the two of you head down the Foresight thoroughfare and away from the crew quarters, Cassie stops by a double-sized doorway and runs her keycard through the reader next to it. Watch your step. She instructs, tapping her knuckles on a large warning sign next to the door that reads, Low Gravity Zone. Once the door opens, she heads through and you follow her into a wide stairwell. It only takes 2 sets of steps before you can feel yourself grow lighter. By the time you reach the doorway at the bottom, you're almost floating. Stepping into the hangar and onto the catwalk, the first thing that strikes you in are the profiles of the 2 armored frames stood as if on guard. Facing into the main area of the hangar. That's pretty fucking cool. Although you fully expected to see them there, every Jovian ship features at least a few. The sight of the armored frame stirs uncomfortable memories in you, and you inadvertently grit your teeth and squeeze the handrail you've grabbed tightly. Ooh.
Did it choose for an adventure thing?
More of an adventure game. Ma'am, they're firing on us. There's too many of them. Oh God, help, ma'am. The line of retreat's totally cut off. We can't get back to the ship. Ma'am, what do we do? What do we do? Stop panicking and form up. 3 and 4 on me. We're going to punch a hole through their formation and... Hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I think it's just the change in gravity level. Left me a bit queasy. I know how you feel. I was late for a hangar audit once and rushed down straight after a bait lunch. I was moving so fast that with the gravity shift, my stomach contents couldn't keep up. Gross. Tell me about it. I did everything I could to keep my mouth shut. You know the rule for low gravity zones. What you spew is left up to you. I wasn't going to be late and on cleanup duty. Speaking of duties, shouldn't there be someone around here? Dalton should be around here somewhere. If you're feeling funny, stay here for a moment, and I'll go see if I can find him. Sure. You watch as, despite the 15 meter distance between the catwalk and the hangar floor, Cassie nonchalantly places her 2 hands on the handrail and deftly vaults over it into the emptiness. Thanks to the low gravity, she doesn't fall, but instead kicks off the railing, propelling herself through the air. as Cassandra drifts off, eventually catching onto one of the armoured frame's legs and using it to swing herself around to float in a different direction. You place your elbow on the railing and your head in your hand. You turn your attention back to the stoic features of the armoured frame's heads and sigh deeply. Your attention is caught by the cockpit hatch on one of the frames being half open. Looking around, you see everything as you'd expect. Armoured frame weapon racks, storage containers, various equipment, all of it restrained appropriately and fastidiously arranged. The cockpit hatch is the only thing that breaks that pattern. It's weird, I can't find him anywhere. I know it's definitely his shift right now, so he should be around somewhere. Looking past Cassandra at the armoured frame with the ajar cockpit hatch, a thought strikes you. I think I might have an idea. Follow me. You carry out the same vaulting maneuver that Cassie had performed and kick off towards the huge machine's cockpit. Once close enough, you grab a hold of its arm and pull yourself up towards the open hatch. A few seconds later, Cassie appears beside you and you both notice the sound of gentle snoring coming from within the cockpit. Well, Lieutenant Commander, I think this is an operations issue, so I'll let you handle it. Leaving the discipline up to me again, huh? Cassandra nimbly clambers up the Cassandra nimbly captures... What is going wrong with me? Cassandra nimbly clambers up the armoured frame, positioning herself right above the cockpit. Bracing herself on the machine's chest, she brings her heel down sharply and repeatedly on the armour. Cadet Grange, attention! You hear a muffled scream from within the cockpit, followed by a dull thud, a string of muttered cursing, and then finally a figure emerges from the cockpit. Ma'am, I was just checking the calibrations on the AF. I got some feedback that... Oh, it's just you, Commander Quinn. Excuse me, just? Is that how you address your superior officer, Cadet? Oh, ma'am, no ma'am, I was not expecting to see you in the hangar, ma'am. Oh, you can tone it down a bit, Dalton. Oh, yes, ma'am. Good enough, I suppose. Anyway, Cadet, this is Lieutenant Finch. He's ship's security officer. Sir, Cadet Dalton Grange, junior engineer. I wonder who this one's supposed to be. Yeah, that's what I got. Although, Ginger, do we need to talk about something? Is there something going on inside there? Maybe. Good to meet you, Cadet. It looks like they've got you working hard. Looks like... Oh, no, sir. Well, that is... Yes, sir. But not so hard I'm falling asleep. No, sir. I was recalibrating the sensor array on the... Take it easy, Cadet. We've all taken a nap in a cockpit in our lives. Well... Of course, we never took cockpit naps with the chief giving us our orders. So you probably need to get back on whatever you were doing, huh? I totally forgot she's going to kill me. Good kid, right? I feel sorry for him already. These two armoured frames are both Juno models, the workhorse of the Jovian colony fleet's military. They look like the newer type than the one I piloted on the Kaliki. Almost piloted. The hangars also used to store the various tools and equipment that the engineering team used throughout the ship. A lot of the machinery is used for moving freight or AF equipment around. Most of these crates contain mechanical supplies, spare parts, tools, etc. There's a few that contain all the long-life ingredients of the vent mate in the mess hall, and then some that contain various essentials for the crew. On a ship like this, it's operations duty to act like a quartermaster, but I've been on some ships where if you're friendly with the hangar crew, they can sneak you out the good stuff. Not that I condone that kind of behaviour, obviously. The main hangar door is typically only used when the ship is docked to bring aboard large containers or equipment. On a ship like this, the AFs launch from smaller hatches underneath them. There's also a maintenance airlock somewhere so that the whole hangar doesn't need to be depressurized if there's work to be done outside. Oh, anything else? Nope. I wish I'd worn my uniform trousers today. What's up? I was thinking we could play low gravity tag or something, but now that Dalton's back up and about, we can't. I don't think he's gonna snitch on you anytime soon. That's not what I mean. I don't follow. Honestly, you have considered have you considered the issues of floating around in a skirt? Oh, just count yourself lucky. I would have kicked your ass. Hey, Cadet, how's it go? Ah! Hey there, kid. Take it easy. It's just me. Oh, Lieutenant. Sorry, I thought you were someone else. What's this crew possibly doing that's got you so jumpy? Oh, it's not the crew. It's just the chief. She really likes a surprise inspection and making sure I'm working as fast as she expects me to. At least once a day, I'll think I'm alone somewhere and suddenly, Cadet Dalton report. I don't know how she does it. I have an eye on the entrance the entire time and she can still appear from nowhere. I think she uses the maintenance ducts. Okay, take it easy. I'm pretty sure it's just us in here. Okay, if you're sure. Anyway, how can I help, Lieutenant? I'm just getting to know the ship and its crew, finding out what they're all about. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So what are you up to here, Cadet? Oh, I'm actually working on 2 projects at the moment as part of my engineering degree. The first is my own project, a high-density, rapid expansion emergency sealant for hull breaches. I've been working on a compound that's designed to be released in case of a breach and seal up cracks to prevent atmosphere loss. Sounds pretty impressive. How's that going? Not too well, Lieutenant. I intended it to be used within the ship as a safety measure for the crew, but the technical officer who oversees my progress back at the academy has instructed me to find a way to weaponize it. He thinks it'll be good for immobilizing enemy AFs. That still seems like it's being put to good use if it's cutting down on casualties, don't you think? I guess so. What's the second? Oh, that's just something I'm working on for the Chief. It's a set of modifications for a Juno to increase its mobility in space. Cadet Dalton, report. I'm Chief. Yes, Chief. Currently in the process of... I think I'll just leave him to get on with it. Where did she come from, anyway? I wonder... Where else we go? Knowing Cassie's appetite for snacks, this will probably be the next place we go. Move to the mess hall? Yes. And here we have the highlight of this entire tour, the mess hall. Cassandra's face is radiating happiness as she gestures through the double doorway that just stood by into the mess hall. Looking inside, you see a canteen like any other. Tables, chairs, vending machines, it's all here. This is the highlight. It looks like a pretty standard mess hall to me. You bet. Do you know why? Tell me. Because they've got both of the different kinds of vending machines. The red one that stocks the spicy potato chips, and the white one that has all the different chocolate bars. Wow, that's all the bases covered, huh? They've got all the fundamental food groups. I'm not sure. Hey, Quinn! A rough voice calls out from further in. You hadn't noticed them previously because of Cassandra's enthusiastic presentation of the vending machines, but someone sat in the far corner stands up, drops a half-smoked cigarette into a coffee cup, and strides over. Hello. What's going on, Quinn? Who's this? Hello. PP, thank you for kisses. Lieutenant Rumley, were you just smoking in the mess hall? Ah, take it easy, Quinn. I was sat right by the extractor vent for the meal vendor. No harm, no foul. That's not the point. The extra strain on the air scrubbers from cigarette. Yeah. So anyway, who's this hottie? Well, cat's got her tongue. Name's Haru. Haru Rumney. What about you, good looking? Oh, Lieutenant NJ Finch, ship security. NJ Finch? Ha, no way, really? Last time I checked. Well, alright, good to know. That's all for me, Finch. You know where my quarters are, right? Yeah, I do. Ha, nice. Catch you later. What was that all about? Cassie? You know where the bedroom is, do you? I mean, I do. It's near mine. And that's not what their room is right by mine. Like Cassie said, both kinds. For some reason, certain ships sometimes only have the red one or the white one, so I can get why she's excited. Hello, limed green. Green is good. I like that. Yeah, been following this game for a while. How is it? So far, so good. Very solid. Nice degree of depth to a lot of the dialogue. Pretty good. Just currently exploring stuff, getting to know people. Thoroughly enjoying it. How did you come across it? I know you say you've been following it for a while. How'd you come across? I don't know what I'm really asking right now. Yes, that's the question. How did you discover this game? And have you bought it or are you going to buy it? Because I, so far, recommend. Like as you said, both guys. For some reason, certain ships can use something which is I get that. Look. A standard food vendor unit installed in all JCF ships. It's half robotic chef, half vending machine. You select what you want and it prepares it for you. The ingredients are almost all long life synthetic reproductions. But it's pretty convincing. When you're done, you can slot the plate back in for cleaning. Basically, hello BP. I love you too. So basically it's a replicator. Oh, stinky fish breath. Help. She's chewing my nose. Are you come to play the game too, have you, Peanut? She's the cutest. Yes, I love you too. Yes, very quick cuddle. For your cuteness, you deserve. Yes, thank you. It's lovely. Hello.
You can see me saying
Gotta get that good view in, haven't you? That's fine, all I can see is the inside of her mouth. See, right up your gob. Yeah, Ken. Right up your stinky gob. What else are we looking at? Putting out your half-smoked cigarette in your half-drunk coffee. Pretty gross. Don't know why smoking on a ship hasn't been banned yet. Yeah, that does seem a little bit counterintuitive. Cassie, shall we get some chips or something? Okay then. Wow. Hey Cassie, have you had lunch yet? Should we get something from the vendor? Ah, right. Is there somewhere I can throw this away? You know, don't worry about it. I'll find out. You know, it's... Actually, don't worry about it. Wow. Of course. Oh, Cassie, before we go, do you want something from the vending machine? Chocolate? Chips? Soda? Don't think I don't know what you're trying to do, Lieutenant. I promise I didn't get what Harry was saying about the room. Okay, but it's gonna be a chocolate bar. Okay, sure. Wait, 2 chocolate bars. Sure. Wait, 3. Just browsing the eShop, saw the cute anime art style and the cool visual novel menu thing it was going on and was hooked. These are 2 excellent reasons to be in on it. The art, as you can see, is phenomenal. The art was by... Let me just go back and check the name again. K Butts Corner at Blue Sky. You can check them out, K Butts Corner. I don't know what their real name is. I was just been told that they're to go by K Butts. And the music is done by a guy named Daniel, who can be found at Flumby Dumby. I will link those in. And the overall project was created by and written by a guy named John Durham, who is a good friend of mine. Excellent creative, and as you can see, a huge fan of 80s anime and mecha shit. I'd say mecha shit. He loves mecha stuff. He's been constantly trying to show me new mecha shows or stuff that I haven't enjoyed and that I have. What am I even going on about here? But yeah, it's definitely a project that's been worth following, and I'm hyped that it's finally here. So yes, I can so far 100% recommend it. Jump in on that. Whichever platform. I'm assuming that you've seen it on Switch. Is it? I'm actually quite tempted to buy myself a second copy on the Switch so I can just take it around and provide that little bit of extra support, because you know I like to be able to take shit on the move. And like my Switch. Moving beyond the mess hall and the hangar access, the 2 of you continue to the furthest end of the Foresight thoroughfare. The door at the very end of the corridor is shut, and the words "Fire Control" painted on it in large stenciled letters. Cassandra swipes her keycard through the reader by the door before turning to you. So this is the fire control. The gunner is probably here, but, well, you'll see. That's pretty cryptic. Whoa, okay, that's a screen. As you follow Cassandra through the doorway, your eyes take a moment to adjust as the strip lighting that illuminates the rest of the ship is now conspicuously absent. Instead, the entire room is lit by the phosphorescent glow from an alcove full of screens and readouts. Looking at the screens, each one seems to not be showing much more than a few specks on a black background. From experience, though, you know that what you're looking at is a live feed from cameras all over the ship's exterior. In the center of this alcove, facing away from you, is a seat like the ones on the bridge. From this angle, it's impossible to tell if there's anyone in it, but you notice a tinny, rhythmic hiss coming from it. So anyway, all of the ship's weapons systems are controlled from here. These screens give the gunner a panoramic view of... Is the gunner here right now? You look over Cassandra's shoulder at the back of the seat. You swear you see a quick flicker of movement, but you can't be sure it's not just the flash of a readout reflecting off of a surface. Oh, Dylan? Yeah, he's here. Should we say hello? Well, normally I would, but... Cassandra leans back slowly as if trying to surreptitiously sneak a peek of what's on the other side of the chair without it noticing her. She quickly turns back to you after a moment's pause. He just looks so in the zone, you know? It seems a shame to interrupt him. Interrupt what? Cassandra leans back again, and after a moment quietly gestures for you to come and look. Oh, my mistake. This one's John. Sat in the chair is a man who looks a little bit older than you. His eyes are closed and his face a picture of absolute serenity.
Yeah, that is John.
Again,
Still
though,
ginger, though.
still ginger, yes. John. Over his ears are possibly the single largest pair of headphones you've seen in your entire life. As he sits there, oblivious to your presence, his right leg bounces up and down and his wrists flicker constantly. This was basically John as he was writing the game. You wonder for a moment if he's okay before spying a cassette player poking out of his jacket pocket. You realize that the hiss you hear is the slightest whisper of the music that he's listening to, escaping from those substantial headphones. Is this okay? Shouldn't he be a bit more attentive? Don't worry, it's fine. He's not even on duty. Yeah, but what if there's an alert? Let's find out. Cassandra moves over to a panel just before the monitor-laden alcove, takes a receiver off the wall, and enters a few numbers into the keypad. Hi, Vanessa. Yes, it's Cassie. Can we test the alert system and fire control? No, it's not scheduled. It's a spot check. Yeah, random testing, you know. Chief's orders. Of course, she asked. Why would I be asking for a spot test of the alert and fire control if Chief didn't ask? You're a darling. Thanks. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Loud! In an instant, you see the figure in the chair bolt upright, yank their headphones off, and lay their hands on the fire control systems. Their heads snapping back and forth as they rapidly survey the wall of monitors. One of the kids has just done something. Yeah, that's John. False alarm. Dylan, don't mind us. Just had us to do a spot check. Oh, hello again. Spot check on the alarm system. Ugh, Chief's orders. You ever play Nausea? It's another visual novel that takes place on a spaceship. Has really good music and art. I have not. What's that available on? I'm assuming Steam and such, because I will absolutely check that out. I'm always on the lookout for new stuff to see. Hey Dylan, don't mind us. Just had to spot check on the alarm system. Chief's orders. Nausea. Gnosia. Let's have a quick look. Oh hey Quinn, no problem. Sorry, let's try and do my best John impression. Oh hey Quinn. No, that's not even close. I'm not even gonna bother. I can't.
I think you can't do that when
He's got a strange voice. Okay, I've got a strange voice and it's hard to manipulate it to something like that. I know you don't. You hear it every day. Aha. Hey. No. Hey. Hey. Hey? I'm just trying to get to like Hey Chief, which I know is something that he says often. Yeah. Hey Chief. Do you, yeah. Do you, like Peck? I'm a big fan of Peck. I like Peck when I'm on my own. not even close. But he does like Peck. Peck is off-brand spam. Did I never show you that? Best way to describe it is Anime Among Us single player. Okay, weirdly that actually kind of makes me want to play it, even though like Among Us isn't like a huge thing for me. It's fun to play with some friends, but I haven't played it in several years. But like Anime Among Us single player kind of sounds like an intriguing concept. So look, nosy. Oh, I see. Ah, no, quiet. Don't do that, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna add that to my wish list. No, I don't want to... No, you're not reporting it. What's wrong with you? Stupid thing. Add to your wish list. Yeah, I will check that out. That seems like something I'm gonna enjoy. Who's this? Okay, now I'll do my perfect John impression now. Lieutenant NJ Finch, Ship Security. Oh, hey, Warrant Officer Dylan Dees. Gunner, welcome aboard. I'm John. Thanks. Well, he's gonna have to check it out first. Well, let me know if you guys need anything. That alert totally got in the way of an awesome solo, so I'm going to rewind and pick up where I left off. Good to meet you. I got a trophy for that impression. The trophy came up. Every single one of these screens is linked to a camera by the ship's hull. Although it doesn't look like it, this actually represents a 360-degree view around the gun dog. Every single same thing. I've never been on a ship as small as the gun dog, but with controls to the ship's weaponry don't look anything like they do on a bigger ship. They look more like they belong in an office or something. That's it. I think I'll leave that up to the professional. These screens can only come with one channel, and it doesn't look like there's anything inserted into it right now. Warrant Officer D's. Warrant Officer D's. Dylan! Dylan! Oh, hey, Lieutenant. How's it going? Not bad, thanks. I was wondering if you could explain the control systems here to me. It doesn't look anything like what I've seen before. Oh yeah, if you've not been on a small ship like the Gun Dog, it probably does look weird. Bigger ships have more crew spare so they can have old-fashioned turret operators. On a ship like this, there's only one dude flying solo. The whole system's optimized to let them run the entire weapon system alone. Each of these trackballs lines up with a different weapon system, which is represented by a reticle shown on the screens. By rolling the balls, I can move the targeting reticle from screen to screen. To fire, all I need to do is point and click. That's pretty clever. Only works so well because we got the computer doing most of the heavy lifting. On bigger ships, the gunners have a lot more physical control. On a ship like this, it's more like playing a really intense video game. You know, video games? You ever played one? You know what a video game is. I know you know, don't lie. I never really liked those spaceship video games. Liar! I'd rather play a racing game or something instead. Also, liar! It's not too bad. Now the war's over, we're not shooting anyone anytime soon. So I get to spend all day here listening to music and staring out into space. Pretty much perfect. Listening to anything good? Yeah, a real classic album right now. Ever hear of Trish and the Replicants? No, sorry. Come by later and I'll lend you a cassette. It's pretty good for such an old band. Thanks for the offer. Just once, I was hoping he wouldn't be here. Oh? Yeah, this place will be such a good room to relax and take in the view of the stars. But day or night, he's always in here, either spacing out himself or drumming away. I'm so jealous. Most heads of operations would kill for a crew member who was at their station day and night, you know. But this is weird. The only time I've seen him leave is when the ship's docked. I've come by at all sorts of random times and he's always here. I don't like it. How much of that is jealousy? Back to the thoroughfare. Hangar, mess hall, then those, central hub, crew quarters 1. So, your quarters are down this way, huh? That's right, why? I was wondering where you'd be. On a Swift class, there's 2 different quarter sections. One has all the department chiefs, whilst the other has the crew that work within those departments. Since you're the only security officer on board, I was wondering if you'd count as a department head or not. Well, I guess I don't. I'm just slumming it. Oh, that's not... What I meant was that, I'm messing with you. Don't worry about it. The head of security is typically under the captain's instruction anyway, so it makes sense that my quarters are down this way. I guess so, when you put it like that. So, have you met any of your neighbors yet? Well, let's see. Dalton's room. Kid could probably do with taking a little bit of time to relax every now and then. This is Hara's room. They've definitely heard what Hansen has to say about me. Probably best I don't run into them too often. Hansen Cruz. Yeah, I know this guy. Oh, you've met him already? Not on the Gundog. I knew him back on the Galiki. Oh, is he the guy you've told me about? That's right, not what you'd call my biggest fan. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Dylan's room. I can't believe he only uses it when the ship's docked. Okay, so I'm still not going to just wander randomly into any of these rooms. Let's take her into my quarters, see what happens. As you step into your quarters, Cassandra follows you in. She stands by the door for a moment, looking around the room before turning to face you. Wow, you really like to keep it tidy, don't you? I've only just got here. That's not a lot of time to make a mess. Are you kidding? I'm pretty sure my bag exploded the moment I stepped into my quarters. Jovian military supplies just aren't what they used to be. Or maybe it was an operator error. And what's that supposed to mean, Lieutenant? Nothing, just considering all possibilities. Wait, is that... what? Lieutenant Finch, don't tell me that... What? What is it? Your chair, it's not perfectly aligned to the terminal. I guess nobody's perfect, huh? I would have made more of an effort if I knew the officer doing spot checks was such a stickler. I suppose I won't have to report you to the captain this time, Lieutenant. Terminal's still showing that order to go meet the captain. I should probably get on to that sooner rather than later. Let's leave that crew corridor. Thoroughfare. Crew quarters number 2. And this is the second set of crew quarters where operations staff, that's me and Vanessa, the department heads, and the captain have their quarters. Makes sense. Of course, it's obvious why he'd come this way so soon after finding out I was part of the crew. What do you mean? I'm supposed to be meeting the captain soon. I know, and despite that, you've let your libido guide you to my quarters, you animal. Let's maybe save that for later. You tease. This is Vanessa's room. She's great. We work together in operations. Oh yeah, you're friends already? Definitely. She's done so much for me already. She's always letting me know that she's covered for me when I'm late, that she's picking up on some of my tasks when I'm running behind. She's a little angel. Cassandra, I've run your diagnostics again. I don't know what I'd do without her. Yes. The nameplate reads Cassandra Quinn. I don't really need an explanation on who that room belongs to. Mackenzie's. That is the chief's room. She seems pretty committed to the job. I bet she doesn't spend much time here. Dr. Rosario's room. You know, I bet he's not been in here since he's boarded. Move to Cassandra's quarters. Oh, by the way, if you ever want access to my quarters, the passcode to the lock is 0211. It's pretty much the same passcode I use for everything. 0211. Got it. Oh, that's right. It's our anniversary. Come on, you didn't think I'd forget, did you? Hey, good job. Oh, wait. Before you go in, can you give me a few minutes to tidy the place up? I was almost late for my duty shift this morning, so it's kind of a mess. Let me put my stuff away, okay? Yeah, sure. Keeping herself between you and the entrance to her room, Cassandra opens the door using the control panel to its right. As it opens, she swiftly steps through and, before it's even all the way open, closes it again using the panel on the other side. The entire time, she obstructs your view of the quarters. Thanks, I won't be long, promise. A few minutes pass and you continue to stand gingerly, outside of Cassie's quarters. You hear the occasional footsteps coming from the foreside thoroughfare, but they all move to other parts of the ship. Thankfully, no one stops by to ask why security is looking outside one of the operations officer's quarters. Hey, Cassie. You give the door a gentle knock and leaning against the wall, continuing to remain on the lookout for anyone who may have some questions about what you're doing out there. How's it going in there? Oh yeah, almost done. Just give me a minute to get this sorted out and... The last pause is followed by a loud bang and the sound of a small cascade of various objects onto the floor. Okay, maybe a few more minutes. You sigh and take a step back. If anyone asks, you can always tell them you're doing spot checks for contraband or something similar. Done. Come in. Jesus Christ. Welcome, make yourself at. As you step through the door frame, the toe of your boot catches on a discarded pair of leggings, which are held in place by your other foot. As you begin to fall over, you reach out to grab onto something to stop yourself. Unfortunately, the chair you reach for has a uniform thrown over the backrest, which slips as you grab it, bringing both the chair and the assortment of cosmetics on the seat clattering down to the floor with you. Oh no, AJ, are you okay? I'm sorry, I thought... Cassie, yes? I thought you said you were tidying this place up. I was? Then why did I just get brained by a falling hairdryer? There was a system. You get back to your feet and right at the chair as Cassie quickly grabs the assorted bottles and tubes that fell down with you, placing them randomly back on any nearby surface. You almost launch into a speech about securely stowing processions in case of high-speed maneuvers, but you stop yourself. Doesn't the captain ever carry out spot checks or surprise inspections? No, it's great. From what I've heard, her quarters are in a worse state than mine. Is that right? Cassie's bed, and currently appears to be acting as a makeshift wardrobe. Does she move all these clothes before she goes to sleep, or do they act like an extra sheet? How does she even have this much clothing on board anyway? Are those printed photographs? Aren't those cool? They're from our first date at the Europe amusement park. I took my Pixie-Cam straight to our specialist printers the next day and got copies made. I even wrote the date on the back so I'd never forget our anniversary. Oh, very cute. Wow, I never knew you were that sentimental. I knew I was on a good thing when you held my back. I knew I was onto a good thing when you held my hair back so I could barf mid-roller coaster ride. You don't meet many people that consider it when you're dating within the forces, let me tell you. Yeah, now I think about it, that wasn't the most romantic date I'd ever been on. You still called me back for a second date, though. I guess I must have been pretty desperate. Hey! Joking, joking. Like everything else in this room, this terminal appears to be in use as extra storage space. Even the chair is covered in stuff. Since Cassie's in operations, you'd think that she'd make more use out of her terminal than anyone else on board, but I can't see how she uses it like this. Ooh. The front panel of the storage unit looks like it's barely managing to stay shut. Could that be what the bang was earlier? So, how are you finding the gun dock so far? Enjoying the tour? The ship's pretty much the same as every other one I've been on since I've been... Yes. You're doing a lot of talking tonight. The ship's pretty much the same as every other one I've been stationed on. The tour's first class, though. Maybe if working in naval operations doesn't work out, you could start your own business as a tour guide back on Europa colony. You think so? Definitely. You seem to have all the insider knowledge already, and you've only been stationed here a few days. Imagine all the insider knowledge you could share about Europa colony. Yeah, you're right. And over here we have the statue of the workers who built this colony. If you sneak around the back, you can get inside the plinth and hide from security. Security if they catch you and your friends hanging out in the park after it's shut. Then again, you don't think that's the kind of thing people would want to know. Maybe a bit more about the workers first, anyway. How are you finding the gun dock so far? How do you feel about being transferred from the Reliant? What do you want to do? We've got some short on you. How are you finding on the gun dock? So you've been on the ship a few days now. How are you finding it? Well, it's not too bad. Obviously, it's not like being stationed on the Reliant. It's a whole lot smaller and there's way less people. But then there's also a lot less to do, so you get much more free time. Captain Bartholomew is pretty lax compared to Captain Singh. But then I get the impression that this whole crew is a bunch of burnouts. Except for us. I obviously didn't mean that about you. How do you feel about being transferred from the Reliant? So, about your transfer from the Reliant. I know, we don't need to have this conversation. I've already had it with the Captain Singh in my dismissal and from one of the senior resource officers. You're wasting your potential. You'd make an excellent captain if you took your duties seriously. Your academy scores were excellent. I wasn't going to give you the speech, one of the only good things about not having parents is that I don't have to hear about it from them, too. Hey, Cassie. And it's absolutely worse hearing it from you, because I know that out of everyone, you're probably the only person that really cares. I wasn't going to give you the big speech about it. I figured you'd already had it from someone else. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. I figured you were feeling worse than you let on. It's going to be okay, you know. A ship like this isn't the worst place to be for a while. And if things work out okay, you can always put in for a transfer back to a bigger ship. The JCF is still building up its navy, so there'll be loads of opportunities. And if that doesn't work out, there's still your career as a tour guide back on Europa. Yeah, you know it. I'd probably make a better tour guide than a ship operator anyway. I think you'd be great at whatever you decide to do, and whatever it is, I'll be here to support you through it. No, that's sweet. Cassie? You're so cheesy sometimes. Hey. Come here. What do you want to do when we got some shore leave? So now that we're on the same ship, our shore leave will line up. Do you have anywhere you want to go? Anything you want to do? I hadn't thought about it. I guess this means that we'll be able to go on a lot more dates now. Oh, I know. Did you hear about that new colony they've added to the Europa cluster? It's got an ultra-efficient water handling plant, and the planners have included a water park. We should go as soon as it opens. Water park? What's that? You've never heard of a water park? Never. They're one of the coolest new features on the new colonies they're building. They're like lots of big swimming pools with slides and rivers and all sorts. All the e-magazines are saying that they're going to be the coolest things to do on the colonies once they're open. Pools and slides into pools? But like, really exciting. Huh, okay. I guess when we're next docked, I'll see if I can book us some tickets. Awesome! And now we can leave and go couching.
Finish my book and I don't know what else to do.
The stand?
Yeah,
This? Did you hear that, John? She said nah.
Shut up! I'll get around to it. So
I'll get around. He has balls.
I just want to replay Witcher 3.
Ooh, replay Witcher 3 then.
I want to do it on PC.
You do want to do it on the PC, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to wait till tomorrow, I'm afraid.
I was just saying in general.
No, I know. I know.
The Witcher 3 is a great game, except no one ever.
No one ever. Never mind all those 10 out of 10 and game awards it got over the years.
It's just a
No
joke.
one ever likes The Witcher 3.
It's a joke.
No one liked The Witcher 3. If you think you like The Witcher 3, you're wrong. You don't like it. Paige said so.
I'm very boring actually, because like the majority of my favorite games are like extremely popular in the mainstream way.
Yeah, but that means that they're good.
Yeah.
Because why would they be so popular if they were bad?
But just my choices are just pretty typical for like someone who likes RPGs. I don't really have any surprising
Again,
tastes.
because you like the good shit.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with liking the good shit. You don't have to be like me and like the weirdo shit that isn't good at all.
I just mean that like if someone asks me for like unknown games or just like smaller games, I'm like I don't fucking know. I don't really play them.
Well, yeah, that's not your area of interest. You're not going to sit around and go, oh, let's go play Chaos Legion, which I will get around to playing at some point.
I always just want to play like massively popular games.
Like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Not Trapped.
I don't know. Like I've tried to be into like indie games and stuff, and I have played them and liked a lot of them. Obviously, I just don't.
Well, this is an indie game.
I just don't love them as much.
Stardew's
as,
an indie game.
Like games that are like made by big publishers or anything. Like, I do like love some indie games. It's not as much. I would say. Yeah. But I think it's mostly just because like indie games that tend to have the budget for like to do like certain things that I want from games, I suppose. It's not as if they can do that with like less money, I suppose.
Well, there you go. We'll find you some other things to enjoy, I know. Like a Witcher 3 replay. I will get around to the Witcher games properly as well. I mean, I need to finish the first one.
It's so good, it became my favourite game.
And I hear that's a very good thing to be.
Yeah, because I rarely have, like, a game become a favorite once I've played it. Like, I will love it and stuff, but it usually won't replace, like, Mass Effect 2 for me. Or Persona 5.
I've played like maybe an hour of The Witcher 3 and I own 2 copies.
I have it on my PS4, but I just like it better on the PC because it doesn't really lag or anything.
And I also have it on the PS4.
And it's so pretty on the PC, especially when you do, like, the DLC that's set in France. It's so pretty.
Well, that's a thing to look forward to in the future, I'd say. The captain quarters sit at the end of the corridor, differentiated from the other doors in the corridor by a small insignia that sits above the nameplate. Like the others in the corridor, it displays the occupant's name, in this case, Captain Maris Bartonius. Even in your role as security officer, there are a few rooms on the ship that you don't have access to. Captain's quarters is one of them. There's nothing for you here right now, so you turn back. Okay, now we can go Central Hub and to the bridge. Cheap viewers on stream, boo. Oh shit! Tight-lipped chimpanzee with all the amazing offers that I'm totally going to take. I'm not going to take. Thank you, but no thank you. You step from the elevator onto the bridge, and what seems to have been a pretty quiet atmosphere turns totally silent as the 2 women present, who had previously been observing a screen, turn to face you. You identify the captain almost immediately by her uniform, although you are given pause to wonder if you've misjudged as she listlessly straightens up and heads over to you with an air of disinterest. The other woman shoots you a look but remains seated at her station, quickly turning away when she realizes you've caught her looking your way. You presume from her position on the bridge she must be a member of operations like Cassandra. This must be the Vanessa she mentioned. Lieutenant NJ entering the bridge and reporting for formal assignment. You declare, throwing a sharp salute with Cassandra quickly following suit. Lieutenant Commander Cassandra Quinn entering the bridge in accompaniment of Lieutenant Finch. You're taken aback slightly as you realize that you've hardly ever seen Cassie be serious about anything, even her position. Whenever she's had to talk about her assignments, it's always been dismissive or in a joking way. You're caught so off guard that you almost miss the captain addressing you. At ease, Lieutenant Commander. You and Cassie both lower your salutes and loosen your posture slightly. There's a slight pause, which you can tell is the captain sizing you up. The informal assessment lasts a little bit longer, than you're comfortable with, until the captain releases a heavy sigh. Welcome aboard, Lieutenant. I was beginning to get worried that this notification we'd had that you'd come aboard had been a system issue. I trust that you haven't had too hard a time finding your way to the bridge to introduce yourself. No, ma'am, I was just... Glance over to Cassie, who's maintaining a completely straight face. We can check out anywhere you want to before we head up there. Yeah, right. You fix your gaze straight ahead. This wouldn't be the first time that Cassandra's lackadaisical attitude had got you in trouble with higher-ups. I was just familiarizing myself with the ship in case I came up with any queries that I could field to you. Oh, is that so? Well, anything you'd like to ask? No, ma'am. Very good. Well, I'm glad you could make it. Eventually. This mission is an urgent one, which is why we departed as soon as you came aboard without a formal reception. Thinking about it, it was unusual that there hadn't been any formal onboarding process beyond the dock staff checking your ID and guiding you onto the gun dock. You'd not realized in your rush, but now it was obvious. But it did make sense that if this was an urgent dispatch, the ship would launch as soon as all of its crew were aboard. My apologies, ma'am. My transport was running late. Yes, we'd been sent word. That wouldn't have anything to do with you, would it? No, ma'am. There was a breakdown on the... Anyway, Lieutenant, I'd like to take the opportunity to formally welcome you to the JFS Gundog. My name is Captain Maris Bartonius. I run as tight a ship as you'd expect, and I anticipate that you'll carry out your duties to the same standard. Yes, ma'am. From experience, most onboarding procedures have involved greetings and speeches from the captain that have ranged from serious to almost ceremonial. In comparison, Captain Bartonius's introduction is almost lethargic. Your card, Lieutenant. Yes, ma'am. The item button will activate when you're able to use items that are in your inventory. Some cases you'll need to use an item to proceed, but in others you'll use an item or not. It's up to you. When possible, select the item button to open the inventory and select the item user. Item. Access. She inspects it for a moment before taking it to a control panel. Oh, what? Taking it to a control panel near the captain's chair. You remain in position, not quite at ease, but not quite at attention. You watch as she enters some commands into the console before inserting your card into a slot. There's the sound of whirring, followed by a series of beeps before your card is ejected and the captain takes it back. By selecting the function button, you can now access a map of the ship, allowing you to move from one location to the other without visiting in areas in between. If an event happens somewhere on the way, you will move to that location instead. You can also view your current objectives and other important information. Return, select. Interesting. I was not expecting this. Datapad. Airlock. Your quarters. Crew quarters. Hangar. Hello, PP. Hello. Yes, hello. Fire control, mess hall. Cassandra's captain. Armory, engine room, engineering, computer, sick bay. Okay, so this is everywhere I've been. Back. Task. Introduce yourself to all the Gundog's crew. Collect your duty sidearm. Ooh. Introduce yourself to the captain. Introduce yourself to the bridge officer. Very nifty. Armored frame. Yeah. Nice. Just a cool breakdown of everything. Well, with this, Lieutenant Finch, you now have access to all areas and authorities befitting the ship's security detail. Your responsibilities begin with immediate effect. Thank you, madam. You're also now authorized to take an appropriate electroshock weapon from the armory. If you have any further questions, then you know where to find me. Dismissed. Hello. Yes, Lieutenant. Captain, when I received my posting to the Gundog, I was informed of my role, but I didn't receive the ship's briefing documents. If I may, what's the Gundog's objective? We've been alerted by another Swift-class patrol vessel, the O'Brien, about signals coming from the edge of our territory. The O'Brien is currently on a solo patrol in outer Jovian space, so we've been sent to provide backup or support as necessary. Of course, if something were to attack Too Swift, it's not as if they could put up much of a fight. Really, it's more a case that we're out there so that if anything does happen, at least one vessel will be able to get away to warn the colony fleet. I see. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Yes, ma'am. Forget what I said, that's an order. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Hello, Booby. Excuse me, Lieutenant. I'm currently on duty, so I'd appreciate it if you did not disturb me. Lieutenant Lord, Lieutenant Finch is the ship's head of security. Since I'm here, you can take the time to introduce yourself formally. Great. I've got this. See you in 5. So you're the security officer that Cassandra's been going on about? That's right, Lieutenant N.J. Finch. Pleased to meet you. Well, I'm Vanessa Lord. I serve on the bridge as part of operations. Cassandra's told me a lot about you. Is that right? What kind of... I'm disappointed that you're nowhere near as attractive as she made you out to be. Rude! Jesus. Oh, is that right? I thought it was too good to be true, that some dashing officer would be transferred here at the last moment. Instead, we've got just another monk. Well, how was it you even got transferred here on such short notice? I was looking over your records earlier, and you were mid-assignment on the Duke. Why would they transfer you instead of... Whoa, hey, look at the time. I think your break's over, Lieutenant Commander Quinn. I think Vanessa needs to get back to her station. Of course, I hope this is the start of a productive working relationship between the two of you. Vanessa, I'll catch up with you later, okay? Yes, Lieutenant, how can I be of assistance? Cassie, you're being... Respectfully, Lieutenant Finch, I would appreciate it if you'd address me as Lieutenant Commander Quinn. Ah, I see. Ow, gentle. Okay, well, on that note, I think that is a good place to stop. So this has been a hell of a good, start, I must say. I'm into it so far. This is very good. I love the design. Oh, wait, let me do a quick look as well. Even though it began even if I was loud. With the exception of some physical controls, a ship the size of the gun dog can be controlled entirely from the bridge. Navigation, automated combat systems, security measures, you name it, it can all be done by a few crew members in this room. It's the captain's chair, although the majority of the ship can be controlled by the operations staff. There's a few select systems that only the captain can authorize, and they're all done from that chair. You need a captain's clearance level to access them, though, so it's not like you can just sit down and activate them. What are you doing, Peanut? The bridge is one of the few places on any ship where you can actually see out into space. When in combat, these windows are covered by blast shutters, and the bridge crew rely on sensors and small cameras mounted on the outside of the ship. It's nice to look out into space sometimes, but it's hard to relax with the bridge crew around, and just staring off into space won't give a good impression. Okay, so that's everything in there so far. So, yeah, so far, really solid, really good, start. There's a lot going on, quite a lot of freedom. I wasn't expecting to have just the ability to go through and check pretty much every room with the exception of 2 or 3 so far in one go, and there's a lot of interesting little either dialogue or narrative bits about everything that's going on. Yeah, so far I'm definitely impressed and think it's an excellent start. Seriously, so much pride and congratulations to be given to my good friend John Durham of Space Colony Studios, and obviously the team that he has put together of K-Butts and Daniel to create the art and the music respectively is it's a phenomenal start. Just absolutely grasping this what they're going for, the idea of this 90s sci-fi 80s anime style thing going on. It's great. I'm loving it. I'm excited to get back to some more, so obviously I'll be doing this more again next Thursday. We've made a start, so we will go through and grab ourselves the gun and see who else is around. I will put the links that I've currently got for people's profiles on Blue Sky on the VOD comments down below. Not called VOD comments, the description for the VOD down below. So please go and check them all out. They are, of course, as I've mentioned before, Space Colony Studios. You can find them on Facebook, on Blue Sky. I think maybe you can find them on Twitter as well. That's John and obviously the overall company, so everyone behind this. Anything else that they do, I know there's going to be some more games coming out in the future, will come under the Space Colony Studios brand. Then you've got the art, as I mentioned, was done by Buttsman Savage, so that's at K Butts Corner. That's KBUTZKORNER. .bsky.social for the beautiful art and various other arts that he does. And Daniel, the composer, is Flumby Dumby, which is FLUMBEEDUMBEE.bsky.social. Please, like I said, go check them out, go support them. If you've in any way liked what you've seen so far and want to check it out for yourself, it is available on Steam, it's on Switch, it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox. Go get them, support this wonderful project, support these people. Like I said, I've known John since we were 4, and I've seen him as he's been working on this project, and let me tell you, it has been the second biggest thing in his life behind his kids. But he's been juggling both for the past 4 years, and it is amazing to have seen that, to have been there while he's built this project. You know, the concepts and the overall story. Like, I know that there's more beyond even just this game that he's got planned. Like I said, he's built a whole world around this, and lots more is to come. So I'm very excited for it. But yeah, just please do just check them all out and jump in on some Gundog, some story, some soul. It's some good shit, I can tell you. Aside from that, do you have anything you would like to add there? No? Okay then. In that case, I hope that you will have yourselves a wonderful week. I hope you find yourself in a new situation where you can meet up with either old friends or make new ones who will welcome you with open arms into their strange little interstellar community, perhaps, or their earthly community. Who knows? But until next time, bye-bye. Bye-bye.